Welcome to Glencoe's Health e-Spotlight video series, where real-world connections help you develop the skills for a healthy future.
I think teenagers view alcohol, and I certainly did, as something that's very glamorous.
But now, at the young age of 26, Torin Volkman, a recovering alcoholic, realizes there was nothing glamorous about it.
Heavy drinking during the teen years can exact a toll that lasts long after the buzz wears off. Alcohol shuts them down.
Researchers like Aaron White say studies now confirm the delicate, developing teenage brain is much more susceptible than the adult brain to the toxic effects of alcohol. MRI images show the startling differences in brain activity between a 15-year-old non-drinker and a 15-year-old heavy drinker.
The brain is developing during adolescence. Whenever a brain is developing, it's vulnerable to the disruptive effects of alcohol. Pregnant women don't drink for that reason. Adolescence is the most important period of human development for learning. It's not the time you want to be blocking the ability of the brain to change with experience, and that's exactly what alcohol does.
Torin Volkman admits his memory is not very sharp, but he was thinking clearly enough to sit down with his mother to write a book together about his experience as a teenage drinker. He hopes his story will be the ultimate cautionary tale.
I think the average family definitely does not understand the true realities of addiction and the propensity for anyone to become addicted that starts at a young age, and that's definitely what caught us off guard.
It's hard to find anyone here who doesn't love Wyoming.
See who we get.
But somehow, I managed.
Jensen.
I mean, there's nothing. We've got one mall in our whole state.
This is 20-year-old Carly Jensen.
I don't know.
When she's not promoting state tourism.
I'm just sick of it.
Carly works at a local fast food joint.
Order?
She lives on her parents' ranch on the very edge of town. And her story is one shared by so many kids who grow up feeling like there's just nothing to do, but find something anyway. Carly's problem with alcohol began freshman year of high school.
The police called. You went and got her.
Well, there's been so many times.
It was the first time, and she walked into a wall.
Renee and Jeff Jensen.
She was drunk.
My dad came and got me, and he was mad.
Her parents lectured her, and police cited her for being an MIP, or minor in possession of alcohol. It was the first of 5 MIPs she would eventually receive.
You ground her, and you take everything away that was ever near and dear to her heart. And that didn't work.
Well, none of it really worked.
None of it worked.
No effect.
No effect whatsoever.
They didn't have any control of me.
Carly would skip school by day and sneak out by night. Her drinking eventually led to her flunking every class.
It just escalated out of control.
Meanwhile, Johnson County officials were getting fed up. Not just with her, but with teenage drinking in general. So they decided to do something quite radical. No longer would multiple offenders like Carly be going home with just another slap on the wrist. Now, they wouldn't even be going home.
18 years old and I'm going to jail.
3 weeks in jail.
I sat in my cell and just cried for like 2 hours. And I think right then was when I was like, okay, no more of this.
Did they do the right thing?
I think so. You know, you'd hate to admit that.
Gave her an idea of, hey, this is how it could end up.
And apparently, word spread. Since threatening jail time, MIPs in Johnson County are down 95%. And here's one other stat regarding Carly's first year of college.
How'd your grades do?
They went really good. First semester I got a 4.0.
4.0?
Yeah.
That's quite a turnaround.
Yeah, my whole attitude has changed, so it's just, I don't know.
How did you get to that place?
I have no idea. I grew up. All of a sudden, I grew up. Okay.
Who says there's nothing good to see in Wyoming?
It's a fact that teens are drinking more and starting to drink at an earlier age. Peer pressure is always a factor, but you can't blame everything on the crowd a kid runs with. Most teenagers learn about drinking from watching their parents.
But I think that it comes from the household, the values that a kid grows up with. And it's going to be, if his parents drink, there's a large likelihood, and that's proven, that the kid will drink also.
How many of you think that parents are the #1 influence over whether you drink, the example that they set and what they tell you? Do you remember seeing adults in your life drink and being curious about what that drinking did to them?
Yeah, when I was probably 10 or 12, I'd go to parties with my dad. They're not really parties, but like boxing parties, watch the game and that kind of thing. And I'd see all the people had a beer in their hand, and I'd think, wow, they're adults, they're very mature. It's not what it smells like, what it tastes like. It's more of what it makes them look like. It makes them look like adults, and I want to be an adult too.
How does it affect a kid when mom goes out just socially and comes home schnockered?
Well, the idea is that mom then can't have a good time at a party, you know, so then when the child has, the young person has their party at 14 or 15, they're going to want wine coolers or a keg of beer, because the message is the way to have a good party is to have lots of alcohol.
I remember watching my dad drinking a beer going, what is it about that, you know?
But teens also say they don't ever want to see their parents drunk.
When you see an adult drunk, what kind of message does that send to you?
When I see an adult doing it, it's not like they're a kid, they're trying to be cool. It's like they're an adult and their life just sucks and they can't do anything about it. And I feel so bad for them.
You've been watching Glencoe's Healthy Spotlight video series. Remember, be healthy, choose wisely.